Hey everybody, Riot Mort here for the patch 13.7 rundown. Patch comes out next Wednesday, but wanted to talk about it as there's a lot of changes to go over. Some pretty interesting things happening here. And so yeah, let's dive right in and see what we have going on this patch. It's a pretty spicy one. So, on the champion side, first off, Nasus now has stacks on stacks baseline. We know players have had a lot of fun with that augment, and so if you get Nasus, you've got that. But as a trade-off, so that you have access to that, because we really like players having that, if you have Nasus on your board, that means that is active, and it will cancel your hero augment. So it's just a way to, like, if you don't like your other hero augment, you can get Nasus in there, play stacks on stacks. Again, very popular augment, so should be good. Renekton, his attacks now scale off of 5% of the highest max health of the weakest Renekton in the lobby. So if you want to play Renekton carry, that's going to be based around all the other Renektons in the lobby. So be aware of that. If you're contested, it might make it a little weak. So just be aware of that if you're looking to play Renekton carry. It's an unusual build, but you should be aware of that. Poppy got some pretty interesting changes here. We removed Poppy's hammer. It was causing a lot of problems with the game files. So that's minus 20 AD on Poppy, but instead we gave her another shield, so she's got that going, which means her armor goes up from 45 to 60, which is great, and when she casts her spell, she'll throw 2 different shields out there. So it's pretty cool the way she, like, throws the 2 shields, hits 2 targets. If you get her hero augment, that can really destroy some backlines. The damage had to come down just a little bit, but overall should make Poppy pretty interesting with the dual shields going on there and a lot harder to kill. So much more of that Poppy fantasy we're trying to achieve with this set. On the 2-cost side, Ezreal now has his targeting, was a bit too smart and he was always hitting the thing. So now we've changed that. He now has little dumb targeting. Sometimes he'll fire a spell backwards. It's based on some RNG, but it fits Ezreal. And, Ezreal League players a little bit better, kind of matches their IQ a bit. So, yeah. Fiora, Fiora has been longing for a worthy opponent for a long time. And so now, as you can see, this is more accurately represented in game. Again, really longing for that opponent here. And Yasuo, you can't see it under the armor, but no longer has clothes under the armor. We went in, deleted the files. He's just got the armor and then no clothes under there. So, yeah, that's Yasuo. On the 3-cost side, we've added a bunch of new visual effects to the auto attacks. Makes it look really, really cool. Really fits that Star Guardian Morgana, the evil, skin that's really badass. But did have her mana nerfed just a little bit here from 50 out of 100 to 0 out of 1,000. So, yeah. Neela is now upside down for reasons. Jax is now no longer able to equip real weapons. So if you can give him like Warmogs, you can give him things like that, but no weapons, no Deathblade, no Jeweled Gauntlet, anything like that. Kind of matches with his lore, which is really important, we think, as we head towards future sets. We try to want to get more lore accurate with TFT, and so that's going to be a big thing. And so again, Jax, no weapons. That is going to change his optimal item build. So make sure you consider that. As you're trying to build, like, the Hacker Jax or something like that. So for some of these other champions here, like Lucian, we removed Renegade. Some of these 3 trait champions were a bit too much. Lucian really just had too much going on there. Infinitine, Quick Draw, and Renegade. That's a lot going on for 1 cost, so we removed Renegade. We also removed Gadgettine from Annie, because technically Gadgettine is about teenagers. Annie's a child, not a teenager. I think she's like 9 or 10. So that kind of felt, again, going with that lore accurate thing. That's just not correct. So we're changing that. Removed Threat from Rammus. So now he just has no traits, but he was okay with that, so it's fine. And then we removed Heart from Viego. We had shipped this out for Glitched Out, which had made sense, but he doesn't have a heart, and so I think we ended up really regretting this change, and so now we're going to remove that and put Viego back to just an Oxforce Renegade. Now, obviously, we've removed all these traits, but that kind of messes up the trait web. They needed somewhere to go, so I'm warning you, this next image is a little scary, but trust me, it's right for the game, it's right for the meta, but just, your eyes have been warned. we took all those traits from those champions, and again, so we didn't mess up our trait web, we've put them all on Warwick. You know, we had the nerfs to Admin and Laser Core and Hacker, but we needed to make sure Warwick had a good spot in the meta. So all those removed traits are now on Warwick. He is now a Renegade, Gadgettine, Admin, Laser Core, Heart, Brawler threat. Again, we think this makes Warwick really live up to the fantasy of what Warwick is supposed to be. So definitely try that out, and hopefully Warwick can find a place with these traits in a comp or two. It might be a little tricky, but I think players will be able to figure it out. Now, to compensate, we did have to take away 5 AD. It is what it is. Bel'Veth, if you've been watching my stream at all, you know I really like Scope Weapons RFC Bel'Veth. That's a lot of fun. But Bel'Veth has kind of fallen out of the meta, and so what better way to bring her back than upping her range a little bit? So we've upped her range just a bit from 2 to 14. So she should be able to be that, you know, slap champion that I really love. Should be fun. And then finally, Samira. We actually put in a thing where when you put Samira in your comp, it'll actually play Double Trigger in the background. So really hypes you up for those underground cash outs or those deep sure shot builds. So check that out. All right. Speaking of large changes, Aatrox's size has been increased a little bit. Aatrox just wasn't really dominating quite enough. So just a small change to his size. Should fit better when he shows up in the shop. Yeah, should be cool. All right. On the 5-cost side, we've added a Volibear to the pool, and another Volibear to the pool, and another Volibear to the pool. Only having 8 5-costs has really kind of made it too easy to get 3-star 5-costs. And so by adding these Volibears back in, you know, we kind of get a new villain into the game, and, you know, it kind of messes it. And everybody loves 3 Bears. 3 Bears was very meta back in, you know, set 5. So yeah, those Volibears will be there. And then finally with Ultimate Ezreal, he wasn't really feeling ultimate enough. We just haven't seen a lot of Ultimate Ezreal comps. So we changed his spell to do 276, 1337. So 2-star should be pretty good. And then 3-star actually does Little Legend damage. So all of those portals flying around will hit enemy Little Legends and do 100 little Legend damage. That should feel like Ultimate Ezreal, you know, really live up to that name. Speaking of which, we talked about Ezreal, but, you know, we had 2 Ezreals in the set, and, you know, as we mentioned in our dev drop, it would have been nice to get more Ezreals in, so we took the time, and now we have more Ezreals. And so you can see here we have Civilian Ezreal, Spooky Scary Ezreal, Neo Ezreal, Ezreal and Ezreal, Giant Enemy Ezreal, Star Guardian Ezreal, Mecha Ezreal, and Ultimate Ezreal. 11 was too many, but 10 really felt like the right amount. So this should allow you to take out your Ezreal fantasies. And again, this is what the dev team was really hoping for when they put in Ezreal. You know, he's just some of our devs really like Ezreal, so it felt right and it felt about time. On the small side, after looking at the Warwick changes and trying them out a bit, we decided that 5 AD nerf I talked about 3 minutes ago was incorrect, so we undid that. And Neela is still upside down, in case you were wondering. She's just hanging out, doing all right. Finally, I know a lot of people, you know, Riftwalker, you know, was really popular, but Riftwalker really didn't like how much it was being played, so it actually has left. We've removed it from the set. We don't normally do this in a set where we want to take out, you know, a trait, but what can you do? And so we've added a new trait called Superhero that has Mortdog, the hero of TFT, Teemo, the hero of Hell, and the IRS. That's just, you know, an all-around hero to everybody. So they'll join as members of the new Superhero trait. You can see that here, where if you play these 3 champions, they'll summon Captain Kaz from the realm of empathy and friendship, and he grows in strength as his friends do. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. And you can see here, very much like Riftwalker, except, you know, we didn't get footage in time for the rundown here. But you can kind of see that it works the same, but it's Captain Kaz. Brand new champion. League of Legends has never used this before. So pretty cool art that the team worked on. And yeah, definitely check that out if you liked Riftwalker. Should be pretty cool. On the trait side, Brawler has been changed. You know, so it's going to give, you know, slightly more HP. So it goes from 20, 45, 70, 100 to 100, 250, 500, 1,000. And comes with a free flat 1,000 at all levels. That should mean 8 Brawler gives you somewhere around the neighborhood of 1 million health. which does seem about balanced. Hacker, if you play Hacker now, you will lose 10 LP. Your monster. Additionally, your next of kin calls you and asks you why you're like this. If Hacker is played against you in the game, you gain 5 LP. If you are Teruo and you are hacked, you lose 69 LP. Don't feel bad for him. He picked it. He did this to himself. For Laser Core, drones are now illegal and require a permit. Permits should be requested in writing, and you should get a response in 3 to 5 weeks. So once you put in Laser Core, about 3 to 5 weeks later, the trait should activate. It will make it a little harder to play, but, you know, 3 to 5 weeks from now when that comes in, I think Laser Core is going to be a very strong comp. We did remove Prankster. That's just off of all the champions because pranks aren't funny. Don't play pranks on people. That's just messed up. Don't do that. Mecha Prime is now a 3/5/7 trait and now combines all units together into an awesome Megazord with bits and pieces of all units. So you can get like the arm of Janna, you know, the legs of Teemo, you know, that's how it works. So yeah, they gain 60 AP and AD, 120 AD and AP, and then 100% of base HP from all units absorbed. But if you expose them to any water, they will rust. So be careful on any of the maps that have water on them. That will ruin your comp. You don't want your mech to rust. Other trait changes. Admin. Okay, let's talk about admin. Admin has been really annoying to balance. Like, there's just so many combinations. And we're getting near the end of the set, so to be frank, we gave up. We're done. We did our best, you know, pat ourselves on the back. And so now the way it works is when you put in admin, you'll now be presented with 2 options, on or off. On turns the trait on the left bar, off turns it off. That's it. This gives you countless synergy options. You could play it with like Built Different or Stand United, so you can play around those. That's it. So that's all you can do. But when you hit admin 4 or 6, now you can turn it on or off whenever you want. And then with admin 6, you get this cool sound effect. Yep, so if you play admin 6, you'll be able to flick that all you want. That's it. That's all admin does. It'll be easy to balance now. And I'm tired of balancing admin. I'm done. This is what you get. Done. Finally, some hero augment reworks. We've got new augments called the Mort Dog Carry Augment, where you'll gain a dev console that'll appear. Your refreshes are more lucky and will more likely contain units with free active traits on your board. Your first refresh each round is free, so pretty cool augment. The support augment. Gain a Mort Dog. When you field him, your enemies get worse shops. This one's really fun. There's nothing better, like especially if you're playing up against like Soju or Setsuko. Put this in. They're going to mold. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. The Teemo Carry Augment. True Joy Siphon. Gain a Teemo. Teemo heals his allies for 66% of the damage he deals. We thought the Vex Augment was a good start, but 22% felt a little weak. So Teemo at 66 feels about right. I see no problems with this whatsoever. Teemo Support Augment, Hup 2, 3, 4. You gain a Teemo, and Teemo will assist with your math homework up to Calc 3. Most of TFT players are, you know, struggling in like Algebra 2, working their way up maybe to Pre-Calc. And so if you're struggling with that, you can load up in a game of TFT, get the Support Augment, and get that help you need to graduate high school, hopefully to get your degree. And so we're rooting for you here on the TFT team. Aatrox Carry Augment, large and in charge. Gain an Aatrox. Aatrox deals bonus damage depending on how big he is. If he is tiny little guy, his damage is weak. But if he's a big boy, he'll go Sicko Mode. And Sicko Mode, watch out for Sicko Mode. It's a big deal. So this should be a much better version of the Aatrox Carry Augment. All Warwick augments will grant a Nico instead of a Warwick. The IRS, as we mentioned, getting added to that superhero trait. Support Evasion, Support Augment, Tax Evasion. Gain an IRS, gain 27 gold. Your maximum interest is increased to 60. If you remove the IRS from your board, lose all gold. So there's some pretty cool econ stuff you can do there. The carry augment is called Tax Season. Gain an IRS. The IRS deals 10% bonus damage per 10 interest your opponent has. Kind of neat. Volibear Support Augment. If you for 3 bears, gain half of a Volibear. Your strongest Volibear splits into 3 tiny Volibears, and they are immune to damage and crowd control. They cast a small version of Volibear's spell before leaving to cheer on your team as mascot units. Pretty fun. And then the carry augment is called Cocaine Bear. Gain most of a Volibear. Volibear's spell is replaced with stacking AD and AS buff for every second he's alive. This buff increases dramatically with every takedown. Really get that Cocaine Bear fantasy. Other adjustments. Recombobulator is now automatically selected whenever it's offered. So if you ever see a recombobulator in their shop, it's just going to trigger. Play around that. You can do it. Duelist Crown, instead of giving a Hand of Justice, now gives a dual disc. That way you'll be ready in case it's time to duel. Added Pass Sight. So we had Future Sight in the game, which really wasn't popular. So we're trying Pass Sight, which will allow you to know who you played last round. Should be good. Laser Core Soul now allows drones to be used for delivery purposes. You know, because you still need those permits. March of Progress now grants -4 XP immediately, so you can go down to level 2. That's important. Revenant Heart has been added for those Volibears. Renamed Admin Heart to Clapper, you know, so that you can turn it on and off. Additional effects. Once 4 admin is active, you may clap twice. Yep, see, there you go. It's good. Alistar Carry. Ability hits all adjacent enemies to all adjacent boards. Really gets that mad cow going, which is fun. Vi support, instead of 180 flat HP, it gives 180% in case the million health from 8 Brawler was not enough. Now you can get up to 1.8 million. Seems fair. Twisted Fate. Instead of getting a gold every 20 cards thrown, Twisted Fate wasn't really strong enough with this augment, so we're changing it to every card thrown. This includes auto attacks. And then finally, Bel'Veth support now replaces all friendly units with Radiant Void Mothers. So you can get this true like Zoid, you know, Void fantasy going. It's a pretty fun augment. Give it a try. Finally, some system adjustments. You know, we hate to do this late into a set, but we had to do this. All the augments are now hidden behind doors, and so you can select door number 1, door number 2, door number 3. You still have your rerolls, but you have to use your rerolls before you open the doors. Once you've selected your door, this triggers the Let's Make a Bargain with Bane Rady. Okay. We've not finalized this deal, so that's still, you know, hopefully we can get that out by the patch. But he'll offer you a low-powered generic augment in exchange for what is behind the mystery door. You can either take his offer or see what's behind the mystery door. And there's a ton of other new goodies besides augments. You could open it up and get nothing. You could open it up and immediately take 8th place. So it's really up to you if you're going to take the bargain. Will you get offered a romantic dinner with me? Or will you be one of the truly breast and win one of our mini cash prizes? You'll just have to play TFT and find out, because that's how the augment system works now. Finally, items. Zeke's Herald has been reverted to old art assets. Same with Chalice. We removed Death Cap from the game. Rod plus Rod now makes Warmogs, so now you have double the chances of getting Warmogs. Titan's Resolve now works on the mech, allowing you to make Aatrox even larger, so you can get mech Aatrox with more Titans. We added rocket-propelled fists to the regular item pool. It wasn't showing up enough, and people really like this item. We removed Riftwalker emblem and put Superhero emblem. Makes sense. And then we added Shimmer Scale items purchasable for 100 gold doubloons. So you have to mail those to me, but if you do, you can get a Shimmer Scale item, and we know players really miss those. On the item adjustment side, as you can see here, every item lost 5 AD because, as you know, the way we balance things at TFT is we just like give it 5 AD or take away 5 AD. And so rather than trying to balance all of these items individually, we just said, hey, you know what works? 5 AD. So we took 5 AD off everything. That includes things like Locket that didn't have AD before. Now it has -5 AD. So everything loses 5 AD. Tactician's Crown, -5 AD. Emblems, -5 AD. -5 AD. It's perfect. All right, and then finally, Yuumi. As we were getting ready for set 9, we wanted to announce this a little early, but while making changes to the file, we accidentally deleted Yuumi from all of Riot's databases, so Yuumi will no longer be selectable in TFT or League of Legends, ever. This is a buff. All right, so there you go. If you've made it this far, it should be obvious. These were April Fool's notes, actually prepared by the person that runs the Riot Birthday Mort Dog account. And so they asked me to present these, and I thought that would be pretty fun. So with some assistance from Casual, Zorxis, Taro. Yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this little April Fool's rundown. The real rundown will be up hopefully on the main channel, I believe, on Tuesday. But happy April Fools. Hope you had fun watching this. Definitely a little silly, but, you know, that's what we do here at TFT. So have fun, take it easy, and we'll see you next time.